Charlie Gorecki, EERC Director of Subsurface Research and Development. We're going to talk a little bit about carbon capture, utilization, and storage, and U.S. energy dominance in a carbon-constrained world. Just a couple of small things he's working on then at EERC. They just hosted an annual meeting centered on this topic. Are we getting to the point where carbon capture, utilization, and storage can be circled on a calendar, a date at some point to say, hey, this is commercial, this is viable, this is a difference maker? Where are we at with the research, Charles?
There's actually two commercial projects that are happening right now. One in Texas, that's the Petronova project, and another one in outside of Regina, Saskatchewan. That's the Weyburn project. Both cases, they're capturing CO2 from coal-fired power plants, and they are transporting it to oil fields for enhanced oil recovery, and they're storing CO2 in the process.
Yeah, we talked earlier, actually, with one of the individuals on the Petronova project, and he talked about the fact that if some subsidies could ultimately be repurposed to this project, that the commercial viability on this would happen a lot sooner than is currently planned. And his point was it's a better bang for the buck related to carbon credits and the environment than is solar and wind. What's your thought on when this will ultimately be used more widespread?
I think we're getting there. One of the things that we know that has to take place is there has to be a number of projects that go to full scale, like Petronova and the one at Sask Power's Boundary Dam facility. When we do these projects, we learn how we can do them more cost effectively, and so we need to have project number 3 and 4, and we'll keep driving down the costs. And I think it's really important when you talk about if you're going to utilize, give some subsidies for energy, there's a great benefit to doing it for a coal-fired power utility like these, like we're talking about here. You have very reliable energy. You've got a stable fuel source, and if you can reduce the emissions to the atmosphere at the same time and produce lower carbon intensity energy all around that's reliable and affordable, I think it's a win-win across the board.
What was the takeaway from your annual meeting? What kind of the enthusiasm came out of the gathering?
I think there's a renewed enthusiasm. This is the 15th year that we've had this annual meeting. In previous years, we were kind of where is it going? We don't seem to be getting anywhere. This year we had this renewed sense of positivity. We heard from Petronova, David Greason from NRG. We also heard from a project in North Dakota, Elite Clean Energy, Minnesota Power, Elite. They're looking at capturing CO2 from the Milton R. Young Power Facility and then doing the same type of things, transporting it to the oil field. So there's this new kind of positive energy. We've just heard about regulations being relaxed in some ways, not being this war on coal from a regulatory standpoint. But one of the things that's still there is this investors are more and more becoming concerned with companies considering carbon. And when you consider it in this way, where you're capturing it from your power utility and using it for enhanced oil recovery, you really are doing that as well. And so I think we'll see investment in these types of things as well. That's at least the hope.
Interesting. Are we dominating in the U.S.? Last question for you. I mean, is this David versus Goliath compared to what's happening elsewhere?
We certainly lead the way as far as technology innovation is concerned. We're producing a massive amount of oil in the United States, largely due to new technology innovations in hydraulic fracturing, horizontal drilling. We're one of the largest, with one of the largest reserves in oil and gas and coal. So if we link these two together, I really think we can get to that energy dominance and certainly energy security. But if we're dominant in energy, that's going to grow our economy faster if we have a reliable, affordable energy. So I think we're getting there, and these types of things are really going to help us become energy dominant.
Yeah, interesting, fascinating. Well, I know there's so much good work going on at the Energy and Environmental Research Center. Really appreciate all you guys do day in and day out, and certainly on this topic. This is a game changer. I mean, and the other thing we need to realize, you have the ability to use it for enhanced oil recovery, so it helps too, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, well, I appreciate that very much. Thanks so much. Take care. Charles Gorecki is the research director of subsurface research and development Energy and Environmental Research Center at UND. Doing good work there.